What's up, guys? Welcome to our 2025 Homebuyer webinar. Definitely want to jump right into it. If you're coming from Instagram, thank you so much for already following us on Instagram. If you're not already, we post 2 videos every single day of new homes and great deals here in the Vegas area. So hopefully that helps. It's at rich_your_realtor. So hopefully that helps. Let's jump right into it, guys. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. All right, guys. So if this is your first time here, you're probably wondering, how do I buy a home, right? So we're gonna go over that. So whether you've bought your first home, no homes, 10 homes, this is definitely gonna be good for you because it's gonna be a refresher course, so you guys can learn exactly what are the steps to buying homes. So we're gonna go quick, easy, painless, and then if you guys are looking to move forward, we'll definitely have an opportunity for that at the end. So let's keep on moving. What are we covering today? Steps to buying a home, who we are, who's part of the process, game plan, and credit score. So let's keep on moving. All right, guys. So first step, when you're trying to buy a home, and of course, there's a bunch of micro steps, but this is typically the first step you want to start with. So we're actually going to call it budget. So what is your budget, right? So you're going to want to get pre-approved with a mortgage lender. Now, if you have cash, fantastic. Let's say you have 500K, then you already know your budget. But if you don't, like most people, I think it's like 70% of buyers do not have that. They're going to want to go speak with a mortgage banker. Now, you can use your local one. We have people that have worked well in the past, so we can recommend them to you. So really up to you which one do you want to use. So what they're going to do is they're going to look over your credit, your income. They're going to also see and make sure that have you been employed for the last couple of years, or if you own your own business, have you been filing tax for the last couple of years? And then a few other small details just to make sure that financially you can afford this place, right? They're going to go over and then they're going to figure out what is your DTI. So let's say you make 10,000 and your debts are 2,000 a month. Well, you have $8,000 of income that could be used. So simple math. All right, guys. So let's go into credit 101. So of course you're gonna want to be with a credit advisor because I'm not one. However, in my past, I'm just gonna point out 2 things that I get asked all the time. What are the big things to point out in credit? So payment history. Make sure that you don't have any late payments. If you have any in the last 6 months, I think that's like an immediate denial for on most cases. So make sure that when you're going to apply for a loan, you haven't had anything in the last 6 to 12 months. I would say the longer the better. Of course, 12 months is better, 18 months is better. So make sure that you're not getting late payments because that's your biggest point, right? Creditors want to know if you are responsible. And then next is amount owed. A lot of times I see this as something that people can change like pretty quickly. So a good example is maybe someone has a $500 credit line, but they're using, let's say, 450. Well, most people are like, oh man, it's only $450. Who cares? Well, that $450 to the creditors, the credit bureau's eyes, what they see is 90% usage, right? They're seeing that you're using all your credit basically. To you, it's only 450, but to them, it's 90%. Whether it's 90K of 100 or 450 of $500, that's always going to be like, oh my God, they're using way too much. So if you can bring that down, bring it under, I would say they say 30%, but I think under 10% is much better. So that would be my big aha tip for you guys. So make sure you guys keep your usage low from month to month, especially when you're going to get a home. There are apps, I'm sure that every single one of you guys have some type of bank, whether it's Wells Fargo, Navy Fed, Chase, Bank of America. All of them have some type of credit app on them, and then you can use a credit simulator to figure out how do I increase my credit. If you want more help though, if you need to be more hands-on, reach out to us and we'll give you somebody that's good. So let's keep on moving. So step 2, search for a home. So this is where you've already met with me or somebody from my team or somebody you trust, and we're looking for a home. So we're going to put together our search, right? I'm going to go on the MLS. We're going to figure out what are your needs versus wants. And a lot of times people tell me that they want location, right? Like why location? Because they want to be next to a certain school or shopping or whatever is most important to them. Maybe they travel to California a lot and they want to be, 45 minutes closer to California, but still live in Vegas. So a lot of people will live in South Las Vegas because, you know, it's it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours max to get to San Bernardino from South Las Vegas. But if you live in the Northwest, you're going to be adding another 30, 45 minutes. So sometimes that's important, right? Everything's different. So, we'll look at the MLS. I'll give you a wants versus needs analysis, and then we'll go from there. Of course, you're going to want to figure out, do I want to go resale? Do I want to go new? That's always a big question. As you guys see on my Instagram page, we feature a lot of new homes. The reason why we do that is because the median price at the time of this recording, I'm curious when I go back to this, the median price is well into the 460s, 470s here in Vegas. So there's a lot of new homes that are actually underneath that, plus are giving fantastic rate and closing cost incentives. Of course, they're subject to change, right? However, those are great deals. So that's why I introduced that to you guys. But if you're wanting more land, then typically a resale is going to give you that option. Or if you want a pool, usually that resale is going to give you the option as well because Vegas is hot. So a lot of people do want pools. And with new home communities, 99.9% of those homes are not going to come with a pool. They just, unless you're buying the model home, they're just not going to come with it. So that's search for home step 2. Placing an offer, right? So once we've found that home that's like, okay, this one makes sense for us. So now we're going to place an offer. You're going to get together with myself, someone with my team. We're going to lay out, okay, what are the terms and conditions of this offer? What is the purchase price? How many days for due diligence, appraisal, contingent or loan contingency? Like how many days do we want to have to get things done? Now, I've gotten homes closed in 10 days, but I've also had homes that took 60 days, right? Typically on average, which it varies from case to case, you're looking at anywhere from 21 to 30 days is your average escrow here in Vegas. So it really just depends on the situation, of course. And with new homes, you're going to have some that are spec build, which means they can probably close within 30 days, 30 to 45 days. And then you're going to have some that are built from the dirt, which means that they're probably going to close, 6 to 8 months. If it's luxury, then you're talking, 12 to 24 months. So that's kind of like the timelines. But on all the resales, you're talking anywhere from 10 days to 60 days. So that's placing an offer. And of course, we go deeper into that on when we actually do it. So next, once you have an offer accepted, congratulations. Earnest money deposit is next. So this is a good faith deposit for the buyer saying, hey, I am moving forward, and the seller can take the home off the market and not entertain any more showings, right? And this also gets put towards your down payment or closing costs at the end. So let's say that your, I don't know, all in is like 25K or 30K, maybe it's 20K. If you put 4K up front, well, this just gets subtracted from that. So that's earnest money deposit. And another reason why it's important is if anything happens during the transaction, right? The buyer, it's important to do your due diligence. We need to hit all our contingency lines. That's why it's important to hire a professional, right? 74% of realtors in 2024 did not sell a house. We sold a lot of houses. So make sure that you're using a team that actually knows what they're doing. So that being said, I digress. Earnest money is used in that good faith part, right? It's important that you do all your inspections. So just in case something happens that you're not okay, you're not happy with, that we can always pull out, right? And then you can get your earnest money back. Now, if the timelines lapse, then your deposit could be in jeopardy. So just want to throw that out there. Of course, when we actually are in the process, we'll give you a little bit more context. Home inspection is next. So here is where you're going to want to hire a local inspector who works here in Vegas. I have recommendations. If you want to use your own, you're more than welcome to. That being said, the reason why you want to get this is because, yes, the sellers do give us a real property disclosure to kind of tell us what's wrong or what do you think, like what's going on with the property. However, we still want to have our own inspector that is hired by us. So that way they're more biased on our side to protect us, of course. So once you've done this, typically there's a request for repairs. If there's anything like majorly wrong, right? With resale, of course, there's always consideration like, oh my God, this is a really old home or this is a new home. So there's context to everything. But let's keep on moving. So, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, request for repairs. So after you've done that home inspection, the request for repairs is next. If there is something that's like, oh my God, I can't deal with that, I need you guys to either fix it or give me some type of money or we're going to back out. So that's usually how that goes. Next is contingencies. So I kind of ran over that a little bit. So some of the bigger ones, you have due diligence, you have the appraisal, and you have the loan. So due diligence that's the time period where you can basically back out for any reason. But in all reality, you can back out if you don't like what's going on with the inspection, if maybe you don't enjoy what the schools are in the area, but you're going to want to do your inspections during this time. You want to make sure, okay, what's the condition of the home? Do we need then the inspector will let us know, do we need to have additional inspections such as like a more in-depth plumbing or electrical or sewer scope or anything like that? And then next is your appraisal contingency. And I wonder, actually, did I put it in here? Okay. I was gonna say it, but I remember I put it on here. So your next contingency is the appraisal contingency. So this is the bank verifying that the property that you're buying is worth what you're purchasing it for, right? Of course, the banks don't want to be underwater if you were to default. So they want to make sure that this home is worth what they say it's worth, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't want to overpay. Well, don't worry. The banks don't either, right? So that's why they're going to send out an appraiser, third party that no one knows about, that no one knows. So that way they can go in, check the home, see how it compares to the neighborhood, and then give us a nice compare or appraisal. So underwriting. So after the appraisal is done, then you go into underwriting happens on the loan side. So that's the lenders. They're verifying that, okay, everything that you set up to this point is accurate. You still have a job. Appraisal works, and everything is looking good. Once that's happening, basically, they're just making sure that this loan can go through. So after that, once that's done, you get to clear to close, and that's when we do the walkthrough. So it's like, okay, if there's any repairs requested, this is when those are going to happen, and you're just making sure, okay, none of the walls fell down, the home is still in the condition that we want it to be in, and there's no issues. So once you've done that, then we go to closing, right? You go to signing and closing, you're going to wire your money, and then you're going to get your keys. So super, I didn't want to give you guys, I don't want to tell you guys too many technical things that just wouldn't be relevant in a home buyer seminar, but basically those are all your big milestone and steps during the process. So hopefully that helps. One other contingency that I didn't talk about was the loan. So generally, you have a loan contingency as well. That's the time period in which the lender has to make sure that the loan is good. And if for whatever reason you can't qualify, then that's just another contingency to kind of back out if we need to. So just want to throw that out there. Next steps. So you will want to start the process with a free, no obligation consult. That's what we do. I'm big on game plans. Like I'm super huge on game plans. Because I just want you guys to be prepared. Whether you're 1 month out or you're 24 months out, I'd rather you guys be prepared. So I have a QR code on screen right now. This QR code, it's going to take you to a calendar link to schedule a call. My big thing is I want to get you guys prepped because homeownership changed my life, right? So I want to make sure that I can change your guys' lives as well. A lot of times there's a lot of ignorance and just misinformation that you guys just don't understand what's going on in the market, or you just don't understand the process. I'd love to help you guys, just get to the point to where you have keys. Because the last story I'm going to leave you with is when I run into those clients that, they're like 70, 75 years old, their spouse has passed away, and all they have is the SSI, like I feel really bad because they never got set up on some type of set income, or they're on set income, but they never had a set payment for where they lived. If you guys can prevent that, I mean, this is going to be the best way forward. I think 80% of people that I speak to, actually no, 90% of people that I speak to can actually qualify within 2 years. Within 2 years. And a lot of times it's like, hey, I'm ready now. Perfect. Let's make it happen, right? So I just want to give you guys that piece of advice. If you're just on the fringe, you're like, I don't want to bother them, please bother me. Like, we're good, right? Like I have a whole team. They all understand how to do this. So please, if you're just even considering, or if this is one of your dreams, I definitely, implore you to schedule the call and let's make it happen. It's completely free. Worst case scenario is it's going to take you 24 months to get there. Best case scenario is you're ready today, right? And I'm handing you keys in 30 to 60 days. So I'd love to be the one handing you keys. If you guys have any more questions, you guys can follow me on Instagram at rich_your_realtor. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.